Welcome to Season 3 of Raise the Anchor with your host, Melissa Burbridge. This season, we are going to inspire, ignite, and create space for you to go after the change you want with invigorating interviews and some deep diving into my personal story. We hope you enjoy. Welcome to another episode of Raise the Anchor with your host, Melissa Burbridge. This week, we thought we would bring you a compilation of the best ofs. So during the next 2 weeks, we are going to be bringing you the best ofs episodes of the last 3 seasons, so that they're just small pieces of those episodes that have meant so much. So today's best of is that famous line that we ask at the end, who inspires you? So we've brought together 7 of our previous guests' answers so that you can listen to them in one episode. We're doing this because we're getting away from our seasons and we were moving into episodes. And in order to do that, we have to do a lot of back-end work, but we don't want you to have to wait. And we thought what a special way to celebrate this transition than to have these inspirations brought into you. So this week is our inspiration question. And then next week is going to be some of those nuggets that we got that people knew that they wanted to hear more of. So we're going to mix that together for you for next week. So we hope you enjoy the next 2 weeks of episodes. And here is your people who inspire you.
Who inspires me? So many women. Like I could honestly give you like a list of 10 women who inspire me. They're all women who are like going for it, and they're going for it without this like big burnout mentality. But honestly, right now, it's the second week of September. Who is inspiring me right now are my children, who, like, this has been such a crazy year for them, being home. And then now they're back to school. You know, they're on the school bus. They're wearing masks. It's been a really big change. And watching them and how they have adapted so quickly and so gracefully, like, they inspire me. Like, every time I want to complain or kind of be down on things, I think about them. I'm like, they're going for it. They're doing it. They're positive.
Who inspires me? It's always a difficult question because I have so many people that kind of I've come across. My wife inspires me every day. I think, her transition from who she believed she was to who she is now is night and day. And she's still always looking to progress and be better. My younger brother inspires me amazingly. He's somebody who followed a dream against everyone else's kind of advice, including mine. So, he's younger than me. When I was in the corporate world and he was following his dream, I was saying to him, how long are you going to do this for? And, when's the time to make a decision to say I'm going to give up? Or so even in against my advice, he persevered and said, no, I'm going to keep going. And then when I started to get into this and I helped share some other stuff with him, I started to realize some things, but he also then kicked on from there and has gone on to have huge success. And so he inspires me all the time. My 2 sons inspire me because they're following their dream. And then I think, I suppose outside of my family, who are huge inspirations to me, who inspires me the most? That's a really tough question, I think.
I know it can be a really tough question at times because for myself, it depends on what phase of life I'm in as to who inspires me at that moment.
Yeah, but I think, if I was to look at, if I was to look at, for example, film, so, I like films, movies, and, you've got people like Will Smith and stuff like that. But I think Denzel Washington, I absolutely love, not just because I think he's a phenomenal actor, but when you hear him speak outside of his acting, he's such a kind of reflective and thoughtful person in terms of thinking about what he says before he says it, that I'm always inspired by the fact that he is so open to sharing his knowledge and information, as is Jim Carrey. who also inspires me, because I think he's done wonders, not just from an acting perspective, but also in terms of where he's taken his own personal journey.
A lot of people. My partner inspires me. She also had a change of career about a year and a half ago, and is excelling in what she's doing. Photographers that I've worked with inspire me, and photographers that I study with. Performers inspire me. Designers inspire me. It's a bit of a vague answer, but I get inspiration about different things from different people, and I think that's a bit of a gift, that I'm able to continually be inspired by the work I see, and the sort of life path and career paths that I see different people take.
So I signed up, and it's funny. I signed up with Mel Robbins on Facebook, and signed up to, like, I received daily texts from her, and her books. She's reading her book now on the internet, so that people that can't afford it can still hear the book and understand it. She's also very vulnerable, speaks about her husband's mental health, things that happened to her. Like 7 or 8 years ago, she was broke, didn't know if they were going to be able to pay their bills, to now, she's got this empire. But she's just doing it. She's just authentic. She's just not telling a story. She's just being herself. And in being herself, that's how she's being successful. So I think if you can be authentic, be yourself, and not, I want to say not, if you just try to prove it to yourself and not worry about anybody else, that's probably the biggest gift you can give yourself. When I made the move to come to this office, in my industry, it was a big to-do, right? There's nobody putting food on my plate but me.
No.
There's nobody that can judge me, that can change anything within 5 feet of my world. And once you get that in your mind, you can really decide and make changes for yourself.
Oh my gosh. So many people, and not even people, things. I guess the one thing that really, really started this for me, and when I think of my why, I have to show you this. So my why sounds crazy. It's a dolphin. Okay. Mm. So I know we all love dolphins, very charismatic, beautiful animals, very relatable, as very intelligent animals in the ocean. But here's why there's one in particular that inspires me that I will never, ever, ever forget. I was living in Vancouver at the time, working at Target, before it collapsed and crumbled. So one of the first things I did when I moved to Vancouver was I went to an aquarium, because I'd never seen a dolphin, a whale, nothing, living on the East Coast, but still never seen one up close. First thing I did when I got there, and walked out of there as a member. But the one thing that resonated with me so much was this dolphin named Helen. So she's a Pacific white-sided dolphin. I have a picture on my desk of her, of when I got to meet her. This was my going away present when I left. Aww. Because she was just what started it all for me. And why is she, if you notice, I'll show you this picture. She has, look at her fins. They've been amputated, right? So they've been partially amputated. And I remember listening to the program where they talked about why she was there. And why was she there? Because she was entangled in fishing nets. So because of us, we did that to her. She was fortunate enough to survive, with the partially amputated fins. And fortunately, it didn't impact her ability to swim fully. However, it did impact her ability to be released into the wild. So she did have a permanent home there. She's no longer there now. But to me, that was so powerful. And it was like a gut punch when I saw why she was there, as well as, at the aquarium at the time, and even now, the animals that are there, are non-releasable because of us. There's a sea lion there who was shot in the head, and he's blind because of us. And while that's not plastic pollution related, my ethos is always very much centered around animal welfare. And that's the be all end all for me, and why I do everything that I do. So for her, that was pivotal, learning her and her story. So, you know, everything that I do when it comes to plastic pollution, I think about how we can have an impact on the environments that we are polluting and how it's affecting them. And, you know, the viral video of the sea turtle with the straw coming out of its nose, you know, things like that. So those are my real inspirations. While it's not the most positive inspiration, it's my motivator.
Who inspires me? So I thought about this because I knew it's usually a question that comes, and it's not a particular person. Like I really was like, is there someone in particular? And I have a lot of people that inspire me, but it's the people, as a generalization, it's the people that take the risks and believe in themselves and champion others that are trying to do the same thing. So it can be like a collective. You know, I think about watching some of the stuff that Dave Reynolds does, and I'll use that as an example. Like that's inspiring to me. We both know Angela McCabe. I'm a huge fan of hers as well. And watching people grow and evolve into what they're supposed to do because they took a chance on themselves. Anyone in that category, whether I know about them yet or I'm watching and following their journey, I find that really, really inspiring because it shows that you can do the hard things, but the hard things also aren't necessarily hard. They do get to be easy when you have the plan and you have the right people and surrounding yourself with that type of positivity, right? In that space. And I love that you were a nurse and now you're social media. And like 5 years ago, you probably, like, some people don't even have Facebook accounts. You know what I mean? Like that stuff lights me up and I could talk about it forever.
Possibility. I think if we're not talking non-human, I think I'm highly inspired and motivated by possibility. I grew up in a small town, a small mining town where you had three choices. You either, became a teacher, a nurse, or a doctor or a lawyer, or you left town because there was a concept of there was nothing else for you here. And I came back to this small town, much to the surprise and dismay of many people who thought, you got out, why would you go back? And I was like, this town is more than you think it is. And these people are more than you think they are. And I see possibility in people. And I think, I'm inspired by the possibility.
Thank you for listening to Raise the Anchor, brought to you by Alizé Creative Solutions. We hope you found that story very inspiring. We look forward to bringing you more each week. Subscribe to the podcast to stay in the loop. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review to spread the love even further. We hope you have smooth sailing.